selling your home can be a stressful nightmare at times, even when the market's good, but there are some steps you can take to maximize your returns. Joining us via Zoom this morning is Glenn Phillips from Lake Homes Realty with more information. Glenn, thanks for joining us today.
Hey, I'm delighted to be here.
Describe the market right now. It seems like COVID has everyone either buying or selling a home these days.
There's a big rush. There was a shortage of inventory years in the making, and COVID really made it a bigger problem across the country. First-time home buyers, specialty homes, just any home. Yeah, it's a super tight market. It's historic lows of inventory.
So for the seller now, how do they maximize their profit in today's hot market?
Sure. So a lot of people think, hey, I'm going to get above my list price if I price it right. And so there are two tips I have right off the bat. One of them is don't crazy overprice your home. That'll encourage some competition. And the other tip is, while it seems encouraging that, hey, I sold my house in one day, you probably left money on the table. I actually recommend, even though it's more work for your real estate agent, be sure it's on the market for maybe a couple of weekends. And the more, if it's in town, maybe you can do it one weekend. But if it's out of town where people have to travel, you're going to get more and better offers if you let it be on the market a little bit longer. You also get better deals about will they actually close.
You mentioned maybe not jumping to that first bid, especially after one day. What are some of the other big mistakes that sellers should try to avoid?
So several of the mistakes they want to avoid is focusing too much maybe on the agent commission. What they're really wanting to look at is how much do they net after all the expenses of selling that home. What are they going to walk away from and not get faked out by, oh, well, I didn't pay much commission. Well, if that agent didn't necessarily market and promote it in a way to get you the most money for your house, it may actually cost you to take a reduced commission.
So paying a little more agent commission might be a good thing because the house might sell for more if they do a better job of marketing that, or at least a little quicker.
Right. You want to interview your agents. Right now there are actually more licensed real estate agents in the U.S. than there are homes for sale. So clearly everybody's not going to be an expert, and they may be an expert at what the market used to be, not what the market is now. So I would interview those agents and not just pick a friend, a family, a relative. Get somebody who's going to be a financial expert, because this is a big investment. Treat it as a financial investment.
What are some good questions if you're interviewing realtors that you should ask as a seller?
Sure. So your realtor should have some type of plan for selling this home in a methodical fashion in the current market. Now, that may not involve as much of the curb appeal and photos as it used to when you were trying to stir up buyers. Buyers are ready. They're online. They're looking. You need an agent who's going to have a great digital presence, ideally one more than just dropping it in the MLS and Zillow, but actually something that's very targeted at the right type of buyer. You're not selling to everybody. You're selling to somebody like yourself.
If you're one of those lucky sellers and you happen to get multiple bids, what should the seller consider then?
So multiple bids seem very exciting, but they turn out to be a lot of work, and they can be very complex trying to compare them all. One of the things people forget is they focus on price. But what they really need to think about is what's going to get to the closing table. Right now, we're seeing some buyers in the frenzy, particularly if the home's only in the market for a day or two, are making really high offers, but with some contingencies. And what they're doing is they're winning the opening bid, and then they're deciding the contingencies if they really want the house. So you need to look at what are the contingencies. Is it a cash offer? Sometimes the best deal is not the highest offer, but the one that'll actually get to closing.
Talk about some strategies when it comes to pricing your home. Now, you don't want to be way out of the ballpark. You don't want to be too low either. So how do you make sure you're right around that right spot? So a good agent will bring in what's called a comparable market analysis. They may bring in additional information if their brokerage has other data points. The ideal thing, sellers really believe their home is often worth more than it really is. And so you want to really look at the data. Most homes, if they've been on the market, if you go look online at other homes and they've been on the market for 2 or 3 months, the market has said this home is overpriced, and they're not even going to come look. They're not even going to make a low-ball offer. Don't let those rot on the market. So you want that. If you're too high above, you won't get any interest. And most, even in a hot market right now, while sellers are excited to get offers, they need to get offers that are actually going to comp. And you can overprice even in a crazy market to discourage that. You want competition. Even when you get that offer, it's not a done deal. The appraisal is very important. Talk about the appraisals, how they work, and what should you be a little concerned about? So an appraisal is required with a loan. So if it's a cash deal, there may not be one, and that can be good or bad.
the appraiser is going to come in and they're struggling right now because market prices have really jumped around. And they tend to use comparables of other homes like yours that have sold. But one of the things that's interesting in this crazy market is some people are offering so far above what a house will even appraise. They're asking, will you cover the appraisal gap between, and the sellers will ask, will you cover the appraisal gap, which is the price between what the home appraises for and what the buyer's willing to pay. And there are actually buyers out there who will cover that appraisal gap. Is that good for the buyer? That's their decision.
Glenn Phillips with Lake Homes Realty. Great tips there for folks who are selling homes. We appreciate your insight and great information.
Hey, great to be here. Thank you.